here's Brody Brazil.
I know there's some of you out there right now watching this video who have also yet to watch your favorite baseball team play a spring training game. Those games have been going on now for about 2 weeks, and there's still about 2 more left before the regular season, which, yeah, by the way, I know you will be there for opening day and night and beyond. I know not everybody watches spring training, but if you haven't seen your team yet, you're not aware of how different Major League Baseball is bound to look this season, even as opposed to just last year. There are some big rule changes now in effect. 2 of the bigger ones include pace of play, which is obviously dealing with the pitch clock for every sequence, every batter and pitcher matchup. And there's also now a lack of the defensive shift. That has been banned. There's no more shortstops on the right side of the infield anymore, or vice versa if that ever happened. So 2 new big rule changes that have impacted baseball and how it looks and how different people are going to realize it in just a couple weeks, but I don't think they've realized it yet. Jeff Passan did an amazing job on Twitter spelling all of this out with the numbers, with the data. Doesn't even need much of an explanation. So Jeff, great job here. Hope you don't mind me stealing it. Shout outs to you for the inspiration in this entire video. It's spring training games, right? So I realize this is not regular season material, but it gives us enough from last year to transpose this year on top of it and realize the differences. Number 1, time of game. It's been shaved down by about 25 minutes already. Now, I've got to tell you that 3 hours and 1 minute on average last year was already quick. Like spring training days and games, they always push the pace on those because players have things to do other than baseball or with baseball and workouts and obligations and media stuff. So spring training games are generally condensed in the first place. I do think in the regular season, they're at least 20 minutes on average longer. But the fact that they could shave off even 25 minutes from every spring training game is pretty impressive. And 2 hours and 36 minutes is kind of music to my ears. If they can maintain that number or similar for the regular season, look, it's just a lot more digestible. Baseball can be appreciated by so many more people if it's a 2 hour and 36 minute commitment 5, 6, 7 days a week instead of a 3 hour and 36 minute commitment or a 4 hour and 22 minute commitment, that goes till 11:45 at night or 2 in the morning if you're out on the East Coast and your team is out west. Time of game, very important to this game and this sport. And yeah, they've shaved it down significantly. Yeah, large part, the pace of play, the pitch clock. If you haven't seen it yet, man, batters are staying in the box. Pitchers are barely dancing around the mound and the pitching rubber. It's pretty amazing how this has now become kind of an urgent one-on-one battle, pitcher and batter. Runs a game, in my opinion, 10.6 last year, up to 11. I think that's a bit negligible, and I also want to remember that last year, 2022 spring training started late. It started abruptly. There was the lockout that just barely ended. They were playing games a couple days later. I don't know if hitters were ready, pitchers were ready. So runs being comparable and similar, but up just a little bit, I don't know if there's much to take away there. But how about stolen base attempts per game? You're basically upping it 50% from 1.5 attempts last year to, let's call it 2.5. If you really want to round it up, maybe 3 sometimes. I bet you there's games with 5 and 6 stolen base attempts. Is the game faster? Are there more athletes out there? Do some of the rule changes matter? Those bases are bigger? Are people really trying to get that fraction of an inch difference with their lead, with their jump, and try and get into second base head first even a little bit better? I don't know. Does it have to do with the fact that the shift is banned and maybe you don't have a shortstop playing on the right side of the infield who can easily get back over to second base and cover the bag? I don't know. If they have to play responsibly in their holes or instead of double play depth, I don't know why stolen base attempts are up, but that's definitely noticeable. Yeah, 50%. We haven't doubled it exactly from like 1.5 to over 3, but it's up about 50%. Okay, BABIP on ground balls, batting average on balls in play, if you didn't know what that stood for. So balls in play, the batting average on those baseballs, but specifically ground balls in play. So this is a very technical stat. Why are we looking at this one? It's a great one that Jeff points out here. the average on ground balls that basically get through the hole. Last year, ground balls put in play only hit for a 235 average. This year, it's a 258 average in spring training. You want to know why? Because the holes on the left and the right side of the infield and up the middle are open. Yeah, that base knock up the middle, that textbook hit, it can be a hit again. How many times did we see that in the last 5 years? Line shot right up the middle. Pitcher can't handle it. Oh, but the shortstop was right there. Or how about a ball hit so hard by a lefty, pulled to the right side of the infield, it would have easily gotten through, but oh yeah, the second baseman is playing short right field. Takes the grounder on 2 hops, like 25 feet into the grass, throws out the runner at first base. Not anymore. So the average going up, more than 20 points, almost 25 points right there. That's tremendous. That it is working. It's getting more offense in the game, and the defenders can't use every last piece of knowledge and totally cheat the system of positioning in baseball. I'm not even saying here, by the way, that I was like, oh, they had to get rid of the shift. Because at one point I'm like, if you're going to give the hitter the entire left side of the infield and they're a lefty, just lay one down over there. They will start realizing, or hit that way. Take a pitch and hit it to left field if you're a lefty. Go opposite field and get your double. They're going to take a while to chase it down. So I'm not here to say that I totally hated the shift, but I feel like it's a little bit more old school to go to a day and an age where people didn't do that all the time like they were, especially the lefties. And then strikeout rate has actually cut down a little bit. Now we're talking about 0.8%. But I wonder, with the pitch clock and the pitchers and catchers even having less time to communicate, you can't sit up there and shake off your catcher 3 times. You got to go. And same thing with the batter. I mean, that clock is ticking. If they're not presented to the pitcher, right? If they're not ready to hit with about 8 seconds left, it's on them. So the strikeout rate being down, I don't know if that's just because pitchers and hitters and catchers are working quicker, more balls in play instead of strikeouts, but there's not all that long time in between of deliberating that might lead to strikeouts. I don't know. Jeff summarizes everything at the end of his tweet by saying more singles, stolen bases, and runs, and 25 minutes faster. So who honestly is going to complain about that? Let me know. What do you think about all that? Will it last into the regular season? Are you excited about this stuff? I am. I think baseball needs a lot of this stuff. And I will give baseball credit. 10 years ago, the thought of them putting a pitch clock in effect, the thought of them leaving a courtesy runner on second base to start off every extra inning, I never would have thought those things would have even been possible. But it does go to show you, baseball realizes they need some help with game times and excitement levels and entertainment value, and they need to spice things up just a little bit. And they're actually trying it, so I do give them a lot of credit. Thumbs up on this video if you liked it or enjoyed it. Also, don't forget, subscribe to this channel. I cannot wait to see you next time.